Well, good evening, John.
Good evening, Ben. How are you?
I'm very, very well. How are you? Shalini says in the chat, how do it's fucking roasting? Yes, I think we're feeling that in our respective locations as well. Right, John?
It's warm. It's warm, but it's not. I wouldn't say it's fucking roasting. It's not as warm as it's been.
It's hot here. It's hot here. And Shalini says, hello, Ben and John. Hello, Shalini. I am hoping you are well apart from the roasting. John, been up to much in the last few days?
As always, as always. But you, in fact, I tell you what, let me introduce the show.
You please do.
So I'd like to say welcome one and all to this episode 111. That's 111.
111.
Of Chasing Dissent live with me, the man formerly in the van and now hunkering in the bunker, and Ben on the south coast of this fair land we call England.
Yes, indeed. Well, I actually concur with Shalini. I think it's quite a bit hotter down here than it is up there. It is pretty bad.
Always.
Well, all of my sound panels started falling off again because of the heat, right? And so I bought extra strong adhesive. So I bought extra strong adhesive that says it's heat resistant up to 110 degrees centigrade.
And
so
okay,
it better work. That's what I'm saying. It better bloody work.
There he
He's off track now. Look, he's done.
Yeah.
Oh, it's been a week, isn't it, John? In news, it's been a week.
It's been busy.
Yeah.
The list, as they say, is long and extensive.
So nothing new there then.
Just like my.
Let's get into it. I'll run VT, shall I?
Yeah, run VT. Run VT.
That's the list. Let's get into it, John. Let's plow down into it, shall we?
Yeah, okay, let's go for it. I'd like to hand it over to you, Agent Clinton, and give us a report from the dawn raid at Mar-a-Lago.
Well, you don't ask us that many questions, John, but what I will say is that yesterday evening we effected a raid on the Mar-a-Lago property in Florida. What we were doing is we were looking for classified documents that former President Donald Trump had removed from the White House and stored at Mar-a-Lago. And just for shits and giggles, we broke into his safe.
And how many pictures of Hunter Biden were there?
Well, I probably a fair few, to be honest, because that man, old Trumpy, he's looking into him, isn't he? He's heavily looking into the Bidens.
Well, he's currently suing Hillary Clinton.
Oh, wow. Wow.
And the case ongoing at the moment.
Is that what he had to testify in today? Because I know he was in court today.
Yeah, and one of the judges that recused himself from the case originally is the guy who signed the search warrant.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Now, obviously, politically, this is brand new territory.
This is brand new. This hasn't been done before.
No, a raid like this has never been effected against a former president in their own personal, premises, in their own personal home. And from what I understand, obviously Trump got no forewarning of this. They just turned up. They raided Mar-a-Lago. They're looking for these documents. Trump doesn't seem to think he's done anything wrong, but obviously we don't know what the ins and outs of it are. But
Hillary didn't think she'd done anything wrong either, did she?
Have you seen what she's doing off the back of this?
Yeah, what?
She's now fundraising, right? Because of what happened to Trump, she's now selling hats that say "but her emails."
They say what?
But her emails.
She's an arsehole.
Yeah, absolutely she is. Right. I want to talk for a minute about what they coin the big lie. Do you know what the big lie is, John?
Go on, enlighten me, Bryn. Enlighten me.
So on social media and in Democrat circles, political circles, the big lie is that the 2020 election was stolen in favor of Joe Biden from Donald Trump, right? They call that the big lie. Because Donald Trump says that Joe Biden is an illegitimate president, that he refuses to accept the outcome of the election. So we have like the January 6th committee, which is obviously trying to criminalize absolutely everybody who believes the big lie, shall we say. But I just want to make a comparison when it comes to Hillary Clinton, because this woman didn't accept the outcome of the election. She wanted it overturned.
Uh-huh.
She said that Donald Trump was an illegitimate president for the entire time that he was president.
Yeah.
She said, I believe she even released a book saying I should be president, right? And yet that's not a big lie.
No, that's not a big lie because she's a Democrat.
Yeah, you see the double standard at play here, right?
Double standard. What can you mean?
But you know what?
Democrats don't lie.
John, I'm going to tell you something here, and prepare to have your mind blown, right?
I don't think you're going to manage it.
Politicians, no matter what party they are representing, they lie, John.
Yeah, I know that, Ben.
Yeah.
I know that. Yeah, I mean, Hillary Clinton is a consummate and well-accomplished liar, I would say.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Clinton. We do like being alive, just letting you know that. And for anybody else watching, I am not suicidal.
If he drowns in his hot tub, it was not him.
Wasn't me.
Wasn't him.
Was not me. Sorry, Mrs. Clinton. Sorry.
Yeah.
Should we move on from Hillary at least?
Okay, let's move on. So the second item is it's a bit of a statement, okay? Well, what I have said is John. No, Dr. John Campbell is a knob.
You've been saying this, sir. Right. To give you some context to anybody watching this, John's been saying this to me and Adam all day. When we had the morning meeting this morning, right, because we do that, we have a morning meeting for like an hour and a half, 2 hours, and we go over the day's work, and we plan things out, and we produce visuals and stuff like that. And all morning he was going, Dr. John Campbell's an asshole. He's a knob. He's an asshole.
Well, he is. He is.
And
So you know how he's got that kind of... He's got that kind of like Alex Smiley type thing, you know, from Alec Guinness type approach to things where he sits down and discusses things in his soft voice as if it's incredibly reasonable, and he gives his little handwritten notes and things that he's working, he's showing is working, you know. So we're all meant to believe him, and he's not really a doctor. He's not a medical doctor. He's a nurse practitioner.
I know he is, yeah.
So he's got a PhD, which is fine. That's fine. You can call yourself doctor. That's fine. But don't. It's a bit confusing when you're in the medical profession, but not an actual doctor. You know, to call yourself doctor it seems to me a tad disingenuous.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. But anyway, so he's now branched out to covering Ukraine, and in particular nuclear power stations, which apparently Russia's likely to blow up and cause an incredible amount of damage to Western Europe because there'll be fallout everywhere.
Wait a minute.
He went on at great length to explain how the fallout was going to affect us all, right? But what he doesn't seem to have grasped is that Russia's in possession of the nuclear power station, so why would it blow it up?
And not only that, right? surely being on the border of Ukraine, any destruction to nuclear power stations in Ukraine would have a fallout problem going towards Russia also.
Well, it depends which way the wind is blowing, but yeah,
Any way the wind blows.
So he went on at great length and gave us this big detailed breakdown of how that would be terrible for Western Europe.
Right.
And England.
Right.
Not Scotland, because Scotland doesn't get its wind from there. Scotland's wind comes across the Atlantic.
I have a question. I have a genuine question. Right?
Yeah.
What does Dr. John Campbell know about nuclear war?
Well, this isn't even nuclear war. This is blowing up a power station.
Yeah, but my point is, like, what does he even know about this?
Well, he didn't show any working, so I'm not sure that he knows anything about it.
I mean, people might say to you, Ben, John, what do you know about all of this stuff? Well, what we do is we report on this stuff, and generally we take the piss out of this stuff, right? And what we try and do is we try and bring you into our way of thinking and try and help you compartmentalize things. Dr. John Campbell is just a knob.
Yeah, he is. I mean, in my extensive time on the planet, I have gathered a fair amount of information. Anyway, let's move on. Mohammed bin Salman.
I could not get the footage.
Right, so, okay, but no, this is a different guy. This is Mohammed, this is his pal, Mohammed bin Salman. Right, so he's like second in line to the Saudi throne at the moment. He's the guy that wants to build this slab, this mile-high city or whatever that everybody's going to live in. And do you know where he gets his inspiration from?
Where?
Blade Runner.
I was gonna say. Right. So let's talk about this for a minute. The Slab City. Yeah,
the brief, right, actually said, go and have a look at science fiction movies like Blade Runner and, Fifth Element, all that kind of stuff.
So let's but still, what they are doing, right? I don't know if any of you have seen this. There's a video going around about a proposal for a slab city in the middle of the Saudi desert, right? That is a mile high and what is it, like 70 or 150 miles long or something?
It goes on forever. So the original proposal was a bunch of interlinked single-story stuff that stretched across the desert, which was doable. Right?
Yeah.
This is not.
Well, the thing is, what also gets me about this is the entire outside of it on both sides will apparently be a giant fucking mirror. Right? A giant mirror, making this thing, for lack of a better word, invisible. Yeah? Right? and they're gonna what if they were ever able to build this thing, and this is just my point of view. People are going, oh, this looks great. I've seen some people going, this looks great. It looks like a prison. It looks like a prison. A prison that's put. Once they put inside it, there's giant mirrors on the outside. Nobody has to look at them. Don't even have to know they're there.
It's like something out of Judge Dredd.
Yeah, it really is.
He can't build it. He just can't build it because it's going to cost way too much, and the infrastructure needs are more than tripled because he wants to build it so thin.
Yeah.
It's just not going to work. He's lost it. He's trying to copy science fiction for the sake of copying science fiction.
It feels like he's looking for a way to put the plebs somewhere out of sight. That's what it feels like to me.
The bill is now estimated at 1 trillion, and you know what that's like. When these things are estimated at the start, they're always estimated low, and they usually come in about 10 times more. You imagine spending $10 trillion on building this.
Well, exactly.
And then it could be a big dead duck, just like the Chinese cities that nobody goes and lives in.
Well, exactly. I just need to address something in the chat, because Shalini's asking, why is the chat duplicating? It's not duplicating over here. Is it duplicating for you, John?
No, it's fine.
No, it's not duplicating over here, so I can't help you there, I'm afraid.
What we term picnic.
But no, back to the Slab City. This is just, even if you were to build something on a smaller scale, for example, right? This feels to me like, even with they're trying to sell a prison as a dream, right?
Well,
Because
why
once
would
you're in, do you think you'll be allowed out, John?
no? If
No.
probably find you can't travel without special permissions.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. This all feels so authoritarian, doesn't it? It really does. But like I said, they're trying to sell you slavery as freedom. It's so backwards, and it's not just these guys doing it. It is largely driven by organisations like the WEF, and it's got to a point now where enough people have to say enough is enough and no more. You're right there, John.
Absolutely fine, old bean. Absolutely fine. Just saying good night to the staff.
Okay. Make sure that you pay them minimum wage and nothing more. I'm joking, by the way.
Better believe it. Minimum wage, 0 contracts, 0 hours contracts. Bring on the hate.
I mean, I'll tell you this: if we were actually making a nice amount of money doing what we do, our staff would be paid handsomely. And do you know why they would be paid handsomely? Because we'd want the best work out of them. Isn't that right, John?
Yeah.
You get what you pay for.
Yeah. Right, okay, moving on. Roughly 1 million polio vaccines to be offered to children in London.
Why? I've just released a video about this.
Yes, you're the ideal man to talk to us about it. Why are they releasing, or why are they offering 1 million polio vaccine boosters? And I mean, I'll just have a little bit before you start, because I'm a bit of a rant here. I can't understand why you need five, right, polio vaccines to be considered vaccinated these days. I didn't get
Money?
5. I don't think I've even had 5 vaccines in my life.
I mean, right. Okay, so
Right.
scientists who have nothing better to do have been testing the sewerage in London for God knows what and God knows what reason, right? Now, first of all, they're testing the sewerage, as in where the waste from people's bodies is collecting in an unsanitary place, because it's not kept clean down there,
No, it's not clean.
where nasties and bugs and germs and viruses probably are harbouring as we speak. There's probably the cure for many diseases down there as well. Not going to lie, right?
That is possible, yeah.
Yeah. But so you're going to a place where you know something bad is going to mutate or fester because of the unsanitary and thriving conditions for these things to live in. And you're going, oh, we found a bit of polio down there. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, but why wouldn't you? Because if you think about it, how many million kids are there in London, and they're getting stabbed with polio vaccines 5 times each? So how many millions of doses of the vaccine have been?
Well, he's right? He's right, because
I don't
obviously
think it has been reported, Shalini. I think it's vaccine derived.
I think it could well be a possibility, and which is something that actually does happen and is well reported.
All you need to do is ask the World Health Organization, because there's currently 2 outbreaks in the world, one in Africa and one in Indonesia.
Exactly. It does happen, and whilst we are not going to say definitively that's what it is,
It's a theory.
It's a theory, and regardless, there does not at time of shooting this, there have been no live cases. None. Right? 0. Zilch, zip, bugger all. So
And yes, it was down to that person, Shalini. It was.
Yes, it was, but we should continue on from that. So, despite the fact that there has been no confirmed or even suspected polio infections,